So what we got here is, along this is where the floor joists are. So those screws are like 2.5 inches long that go down through a 1/2 inch of this pressure treated. I don't know if it says what it is here. And down into it, and then in between I got the regular 1 5/8" screws. So this is solid. And so what we did is we moved this on over, and we got our weight on here to make it so we put it all together so it doesn't bounce and separate. Because if you pound it on this over here, or you pound it on this over here, usually it's lengthways. What happens is it'll start to pull apart. And so I still got some weight over here around the doors and stuff. I want to hold that down. And I'm going to have more material than I need. And any place that it's got like a little bit of where it's a little bouncy, like I can just heard that cabinet move. It'll keep it where it wants to be. Like over here, it was a little bouncy. Now there's no bounce in it because we got some weight on it. So when I go to do the trim, I'm keeping the weight on here so that I can do the trim. And so I got different products here. Some of this stuff is a silicone, and some of this is exterior grade sealant. So I'm giving it the best shot that I can give it. And I only did up to here, to this section here, because I wanted to get this door done and just keep the weight on it so that the silicone and the caulking will help seal it real nice and keep it where it wants to be. And then I can pick up from over here and then get around the corner and all that. I'm going to have some extra stuff here, but either way, when I go to do the trim, like I got a little here, a little bit of whatever there. But eventually after you walk on it enough, you'll lose that whatever deal. And just to point something out here, and I don't know, this is all how it works, but I got a piece in here that, if you notice it, where is it? Right here. It looks like the number 141 right there. And there's been a couple of those that I'm like, are you kidding me? But this is my tools that I'm using, and obviously this is going to keep some weight down on it. And when I slide this over, because it was over here where the hookup is, I don't want to fuck up that edge right there. So I got two layers of cardboard on there so that I can walk it up over the lip and slide it over. So that way, number one, I'm not scratching the floor. And number two, it doesn't damage that edge over there. And so that's the deal there. And I got my offcuts. And to think that I got all this done, and this is the only waste that I have, is these pieces right here that I can use, because when I cut a piece for this, I measured it out, and I got my little cheater block no shorter than this piece right here. I can't put a piece in any shorter than that. It can be longer, but that way it saves me on the other end So when you cut a piece off on this side, you can use it down here, as long as it's not shorter than that, or it'll almost come out like a full piece, because you want to randomly stagger the joints and not have them so they're all in one place. And that way you're not having like a little piece. Like this looks like it's a little piece right here, but it's not. It's just the way it looks. It's just the way the pattern is. But that way you have a long piece and a short piece, and there's that 140 fucking one again. And so, however it comes out, it works. And then you got like I'll show it again over here. I know I'm not gonna waste a piece, but somewhere in here is that 141 again. So just be careful when you're doing this flooring, so you can look at those pieces and so they're all basically the same, or some of them are reversed and some of them are backward or whatever, but that way it all comes out random looking, and your project's going to come out the best you can do it. Using some of these products, it's like I'll tape, and this is another thing that people don't realize about these little things here, is how these work. How these little things here work is you put them in, and then they slide together. So like you'll see, I'll show you a piece here. Like there's a gap in here where I have like 3 of them in there. I mean, I don't really care. That's too much of a gap that you normally wouldn't want a gap that wide. And so I got 3 of those pieces in there. The trim will cover that, barely cover it. But I'm caulking that all up. I'm filling that with caulking. And it'll barely cover it. But then we came over to here, and you can see the gap. It's a more than I wanted the gap to be, but because it is what it is, by the time I get over here, I caught the mistake and corrected it, so now we're back to just where it's supposed to be. But if you see that piece right there, it's a little chewed up and a little beat up. But that's my mistake I made right there. In order for this to be level and straight, or locked together the way it's supposed to be, I have a little screw up right here. Then that'll get filled, that'll get covered with trim, it'll get filled full of caulking, full of the silicone, and then on top, over the top of that, then we'll do with the whatever. But you know, and I got all my little pieces here to do it. Some of them I know where they go, so I'm gonna end up doing that laundry room first and working my way out here, because I'll be able to hide those little pieces in here, in and around, and in here and stuff. And then we got the door trim. We got our doors and our trim and all that right underneath this. Spare parts from the bike. And so we got all this little lumber yard going on here. And out here, I'll show you my old, from the 70s deal.